So yes, I will speak about RMD first method and when project start with documentation. In case you cannot understand me or you cannot see anything, the presentation is already on my GitHub account, so you can find it and the picture of it. So I work for ThinkR, it's a consulting company, and we also give courses inside companies too. We have a lot of blogs and articles. You can follow us, and you can also come to see us at the bottom of this building if you want to know more about what we do. And I am Sébastien, one of the team of the ThinkR. So documentation is the subject of my presentation, and why do you need documentation? You never took back a code that you wrote 6 months ago and you don't remember anything about what is inside? Do you share your script with your young Padawan, the new one who comes and say, I don't understand this function, I don't understand this. Do you really have time to spend with this young Padawan? No. Do you have a colleague who wants to run your analysis when you're on a sick leave? Yeah, you cannot really predict your sick leave, can you? I can't. Do you have your boss, your client coming to ask for update of your work and want to see nice code, nice, not code, but text and document and already the report with the articles and the figure inside? Or do you want to share your code, your work with the world? Yes, to do so, you will have to do some documentation. Prevent code sickness of people you work with and the future people who will work with your code. Give them the remedy, give them the documentation. But if documentation is so important, what is the last thing you do? You should start with the documentation. And we do that with doing R Markdown first. I will try to say remedy because it's easier to say with my French accent. So you start with the documentation, you start with a Markdown file, and everything will be easier. So let's try to have a workflow for data analysis. You probably already did some data analysis. What you need is a project. You work inside the project, the data is in the project, the script is in the project. A project is just one folder on your computer, okay? You can start a little baby project with RStudio or with whatever UI you use to work with. It's only a package, a folder, a directory. And then you add some data because you are going to do some data analysis. So let's put the data in a directory that we'll call data row, for instance. Don't know why, maybe sometimes it will be important. So in this example, I will use some data sets that comes from our package fake here, just a package to do some fake data sets that you can work with for your courses, for instance. And with data row, we have this data set which is inside like here in a CSV inside the folder. And then first thing, you create a Markdown file. The Markdown file will be for reading your data, for doing your own analysis, and then at the end you just knit and you have a nice report. But when you are in a Markdown file, you have to say what you will do and to do what you said. This is really important to always do what you say. So let's do this. Let's try to write what we're going to say, what we're going to do. So first, we read the client database. The database comes from a package, okay? It's saved as a CSV in the file, in the project, so now I will read the dataset. And in the second part, I will filter some part of this dataset because I just want to do some statistics on one specific number of individuals who work in a specific region, for instance. So let's do that. So I said what I will do, and now I do what I said. So I have some chunks inside my Markdown. So you know the Markdown file is a mix between the text, plain text, and or code, and then that you knit together to have a report at the end. So the first part is I read my dataset. I can use the package here because it's easier to deal with the path inside a project. And then I have the part where I filtered my dataset. But I will filter the dataset in a specific region. But maybe my boss will ask me to do in another region, and another region, and another region. So for that, I do a function, okay? When you have to repeat the code, you do a function. This one is not really useful, okay? It's just for the example. And I don't have the place to put it on my slide otherwise. So I did the function, and the function is to filter my dataset for one specific region of my my client database. But now I am in my Markdown file. I did a function inside. Maybe tomorrow my Padawan will have to use this function. So what do? I document the function. Let's use something like that is called or oxygen skeleton. Yeah, it's really famous for doing some documentation of functions, so we use it. You see there is a title. We explain what are doing every parameters of the function, what is the output of the function, and we put inside an example. But you're already in a Markdown file. You already built your example on the specific data set. So you already have an example to put inside this documentation part with a data set that is stored in a place where you know where it is. Then, why not doing some tests? Because maybe in 6 months you will want to use this analysis and you will want to upgrade deployer, for instance, and maybe everything will broke because they removed the gather and spread and tidier. So you need to make sure that your analysis still works, and you need to know where it breaks and why. So you do some unit tests. You can use test.dat for that. Here I put some tests that verify that the output is still a data frame and the number of rows is 10. And because we are working the Markdown and because we used our analysis on the data set, we already have the data set as a reproducible example to put in the test. So you have everything to build these tests. Just need to know the code on how to write it. So where are we? Do you know where you are? Yeah, maybe some of you recognize something in that presentation. We have a Markdown file with some explanation of our analysis of what we're going to do. We have a Markdown file with a function that is documented with our oxygen. We have a Markdown file with function that is tested with test.dat. Hey, we are almost in a package. So as soon as you write a Markdown file and you document everything inside, you already did a package. You see, a package is not very difficult to do. You just have to do a little cleaning about your Markdown file, so the data row will stay the data row inside the package. You will have to add a description file to explain what is your analysis about. And the Markdown file, you put it in a folder which is called the vignette. It will explain what is doing your package. It can be the output of your analysis too. And you will cut the vignette into different parts. So the function with our oxygen code will be cut and pasted inside the OR folder, inside the OR script. And the part with the test will be cut and pasted inside test.dat function. And the namespace is a list of dependencies, but you don't have to care about this. What's next? So now we are in the package, not totally a package. You can pass use this create package on it just to be sure you have everything you need set up for the package to work. We can also document the workflow. I mean, how did we build this package? So at ThinkOR, we use a file which is called dev history. It's a file we put at the root of every project. And we write inside the way we built our package. So every call to use this create package, use readme file, use this whatever you want, or attachment inside. It's written inside so that even the construction of the package itself is reproducible, and you can use it for any other package or give it to your colleagues. We also build this package which is called attachment, and this package will help you to deal with the dependencies of your package. So it will take your OR file, take your OR oxygen, and use the DevTool document to document the function like you have it in a real package. It means if you open the help of the function of any function you work with, you have the HTML page that comes, so it works with that. And attachment also parse your entire code to find the places where you ask for a new package, a new dependency. So do you need deployer to make you work your analysis? Do you need any other packages? Attachment takes this and put that in the description file so that you don't have to write it yourself. And then what is good, because as you have a package, you can use all the tools you want, all the tools that exists to work with the package and to share the package. So it's important to share the documentation. You don't have to share the documentation to the whole world for now. You can share it with your colleagues. You can share it with your client, because the analysis you did, it does maybe not for you, and it can be for a client. So you can use package down. It takes all the documentation, put it in one place in one HTML site. So you have the documentation for the functions. You have the documentation for the examples of the function, and you have the vignettes inside. And for us, when we do this for our client, the vignette is the output of our analysis. So we share the vignette as the guide or as the final report of what we did. You can imagine you have two types of vignette, one for building your analysis for its developer part, and the kind of the vignette for the customer, but everything is marked on inside the package. I just released a small package to help you put the package down inside your package. I mean, this is not for sharing it on the CRAN, because it will probably not accept it. But for your client, you just send your package or archive, you install the package on their computer, and then they can see the documentation while running the name of my package, .open package down, so that you have the site even if you are offline. You don't have to share it with on an open website. So use the R Markdown first for every of your project. Why? Because documentation matters. It matters for you. Think about you first. It matters for other developers, the other people with who you are going to work with. It matters for you, your customers. Maybe you developed a package for customers because you want to make their code better, harder, stronger. Maybe your customer will use your code, and maybe in 1 year they will ask for another company to work on it because they did not like the way you worked, but at least the company will take your work after you, will be very happy to have the documentation. Yeah, you can also help the other concurrent of your company, why not? And document also for your boss, because when the boss comes and say, where are you? You don't want to open your R file, say, look, I just run my code. This is the figure of, I don't remember what, and this is what I did on the part of that. No. Show the Markdown, you already have it. You can already show the package down if you want. The package down, if you use it with Chameleon, you can put your color, the colors of your company, so that the boss will be happy to see, it's so fancy. I mean, everything is wrong inside, but nobody cares, okay? It's just nice to see it. So document for everybody, document for the world, and always start with the Markdown file. The Markdown file is your sandbox. It's a place where you test your things, and the place where you will start building your functions, and as soon as the functions are ready, and you can put it in the right place in the package. Create your test, create your documentation while you are writing your code, so that you don't have to come back later in 6 months saying, yeah, I need to do this documentation, but I don't remember why I put this parameter with this name. So do it while you are coding. It will be easier for you and for the future. And because we already are in a skeleton of a package, because you documented the way to use the different functions. You documented the functions. You did some unit tests. So think package. So maybe the easier way is to start with a package. As soon as now you know that you will finish with a package for your analysis, start directly with the package. And you will be able to publish your analysis with all the tools that you know, maybe package down, maybe a book down of the vignettes. That is also allowed for Chameleon. And if you're not convinced enough, I just released an article about that on rtask.thinkr. So it's the long version of my presentation on RMD first. And if you want to have access to this slide, they are, as I said, on my GitHub repository. Thank you for your attention.
have time for questions? We're running a little bit late rather than you're running. Yes, we are running a little bit late. You got any questions here for Sébastien?
Hey, so I've seen the package analysis of the package approach being proposed before. My concern has always been that it kind of discourages you from packaging up functions that might get repeated from analysis to analysis. So, you have it basically lives within this package which sort of exists just for the analysis, and then you end up creating essentially the same function the next time you do an analysis. Is there any suggestions you have for combating that, or any approaches you take when thinking about that?
I mean, you mean that you do multiple analysis, you have one package for each analysis, but the functions are shared between the different analyses?
Exactly, you effectively make the same function 4 times.
You can build another package with all the functions that you use for all your analysis.
Sure.
No? I mean, as soon as you reuse the function for different analyses, so make a package for it. Even if you have only one function inside your package, it's okay. I mean, everything is made for that in Aura.
Sure. Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
So you can read the blog post. You will have all the answers that you need.